In a lifetime spent in aviation, Don Hamilton began with training in the Royal Canadian Air Force. With the purchase of his first small aircraft, he became an entrepreneur in the aviation industry, starting with charter service and bush flying. As a businessman, he eventually built Airspray 1967 Limited into a leading fleet operation in aerial fire suppression. Born in 1924 on his grandparents' farm in Ontario, Don Hamilton was raised in rural Saskatchewan in the hamlet of Tilney, where his father operated a grain elevator and his mother ran a general store and the post office. And like many boys growing up in the prairies, Don played hockey on an outdoor rink. When he graduated from high school, at age 18, he signed up with the King's Own Rifle Regiment of Canada in 1942, and in 1943 transferred to the Royal Canadian Air Force, reporting to No. 3 Manning Depot in Edmonton, where he was selected for aircrew training, earning a bomb aimer's wing in the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan and graduating as a pilot officer in 1944. The war ended before Don could be shipped overseas for service, so at the Moose Jaw Flying Club, he earned a private pilot's license, and with only 18 hours in a Tiger Moth, Don went to Wichita, Kansas for delivery of his first aircraft. With a new Cessna 120, Don Hamilton was launched into a lifetime of aviation business. But his days as a barnstormer ended abruptly when he walked away from a crash of his overloaded Cessna. And he showed his mechanical aptitude by rebuilding the aircraft and earned an AME license. Back in business with the little Cessna, he equipped it with skis and floats, hauling fish and passengers. As Don's bush flying and charter work increased, a Cessna 195 and an Avro Anson were added to his operations, and a Stinson 108 was acquired to use in aerial survey work to locate a site for what would become the Cold Lake Canadian Forces Base. With the base completed, Don used his Anson to fly freight and passengers from Cambridge Bay in the Cold War during construction of the Distant Early Warning Line in the 1950s. And he was the first to land on wheels at the Dew Line airstrip on King William Island inside the Arctic Circle. With his work finished on the Dew Line, Don next operated a repair and maintenance service, offering charter service, selling Helio and Dornier aircraft, and established Hamilton Aviation. He continued hauling fish in northern Alberta and acquired a Fairchild 82 to carry bigger loads. It was sold to Grant McConaughey for Canadian Pacific Airlines, which eventually donated it to the Canadian Aviation and Space Museum at Ottawa, where it resides today. Hamilton Aviation operated from a hangar at Edmonton City Centre Airport until Don built his General Aviation Centre at the airport in 1987. Ever the entrepreneur, in 1969, Don Hamilton became a partner in Airspray 1967 Limited, helping launch the company into forest fire suppression. It had a Douglas B-26 Invader bomber converted to carry fire retardant. Don himself flew a Cessna 310 as a bird dog to lead the bomber into firefighting areas. Additional B-26 aircraft were obtained for use in Alberta, the Northwest Territories, and the Yukon, and in 1972, Don bought out his partner. In 1974, operations moved to a wartime hangar at the Red Deer Industrial Airport, which was formerly the home of a British Commonwealth Air Training Plan station at Penhold, Alberta. By 1990, Airspray was operating 15 B-26 Invaders, 3 Canadair 215s, 2 Cessna 340s, 3 Aerostars, and a Cessna Citation executive jet. Staff had grown to 60 pilots, support, and maintenance personnel. Moving to replace piston aircraft, Don Hamilton selected the Lockheed Electra L-188, powered by 4 turboprop engines. 8 of them, accompanied by 8 Gulfstream twin-engine turboprop aircraft for bird dog duty, comprised the largest such fleet in North America. As a sideline, from 1999 to 2005, the company operated an F-86 Sabrejet to tow targets for military aircraft at the Cold Lake Air Weapons Range. Airspray Limited has been recognized in the aviation press with stories of the company's operations and innovations in national and international coverage, with articles about Airspray's development as the company has grown over the years. And the published stories have helped to make the company's success widely known in the aviation industry, telling the story of how an Alberta company has given new life to vintage warbirds in modern aerial fire suppression. In 2000, fire destroyed the company's wartime hangar at Penhold, claiming the life of one of Airspray's engineers, Don's cherished Cessna 120, and 5 other aircraft. But Airspray recovered when Don built a 97,000 square foot hangar on the same site in 2001, operating today with 60 employees. During summer months, some 40 pilots are added, and in the winter, many stay on to fly charter service. Don married his wife, Georgine, in 1958, and they raised 2 daughters, Lynn and Janice. Georgine, a nurse, passed away in 1995. Lynn now serves as president of Airspray 1967 Limited, with Don as CEO. He continues to be active in the business, working from his Edmonton office and still flying 65 years after earning his private pilot's license. Donald T. Hamilton was inducted as a member of Canada's Aviation Hall of Fame at ceremonies held at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum on May 26, 2011.